You are now listening to Oversaturated, the podcast, hosted by Johnnie and Ralph. Now let's get it.
What's happening, YouTube? We're Oversaturated the podcast. I'm Ralph.
I'm Johnny.
Hey, man, if you know we're here, this is a YouTube exclusive. We're here to break down the first three seasons of Loki. The first three episodes of Loki season 2. Yep. Before we get into that, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything that we drop here on the channel.
Word.
But Loki has came back with season 2. Usually we hit you with an episodic breakdown, but we decided to kind of do things a little bit differently. Since it's 6 episodes, you know what we're going to do. We're going to do the first half, and then we'll be back when the season concludes and hit you with the last 3.
Word.
First 3, let's get into it. First episode, Ouroboros.
Yes.
Johnny, we're going to do this. You know how we do it. Johnny, what do you think about the first episode of season 2?
Season 2. When I initially started watching it, I was mad confused. Like, it was so much going on, bro. Like,
absolutely.
It picked up directly where season 1 left off.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
Yeah.
But it was, oh my God, it was so much. Loki,
time
warping back and forth, the past and present in the TVA when he's not supposed to be doing it. Listen, man, I was mad confused.
Mm-hmm.
But once I finally caught on to what was going on, I was like, oh, okay. I'm enjoying this.
Do you think that was the intention of the writers for us to be like, because this whole, like, still, no matter what, right, this is like maybe our third or fourth thing with time travel in the MCU?
Yeah.
Do you think it's for us to grasp it at this point, or they're still trying to introduce new elements?
So because of the TVA and how that works specifically outside of all time, I think they had to do that for Loki specifically. Yeah. And also thinking back to how episode 1 of season 1 went, where they basically had to strip Loki down of everything that we've known him to be in all of the MCU to where it was like heavy dialogue to where episode 1 of season 2 is all action. Everybody's running back and forth trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I think this was a great way to open up season 2.
Yeah. No, I agree because like you said, it was a direct continuation. It's not like season 2, like it really picked right back up.
Yeah, absolutely.
The direct continuation feel was great. Like, I do agree with you on the fact that it was confusing. I was able to watch all 3 episodes twice, so on the second watch, all this shit was smoother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because it's like the concepts start tying in together a little bit more, and that's one thing I wanted to tell you. I was like, hey, on the second watch, this shit is great. The second watch, like, I was like, oh, this is great. But just getting to how that time, I think it's time warping, right?
Yes.
How it works. It's very confusing because I'm like, what's the past? What's the present? Because he was in the past when he warped back, right?
Right.
Because at the end, he went to the past. That's how you seen the big Kang statue and everything. So that element was cool. Introducing Ouroboros, who's like the brain of the TVA.
Right.
He's like, as far as like how the TVA functions and everything, he's like next to Kang damn near. If you're talking about how the TVA knowing the functions and everything about it, Ouroboros is that boy,
right? And he's the one that wrote the TVA
that's
manual.
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, if we'll get to 3 where you get to Kang or his variant, you see that's a big thing. So Ouroboros is actually one of, like, he might have wrote it with Kang.
Right.
Or He Who Remains.
Right. That's crazy. That's so crazy. And shout out to him because he was one of the main characters of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Another movie about time travel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's a very literal type of person. It's like, no, we're gonna die. Like, it's like that type of stuff. I appreciate that type of humor, and I like to shout out Owen Wilson, man. Owen Wilson is my guy, man. like Mobius is my boy, man. I like him, man. But it just shows that they were going back and forth, like the disconnect between the leadership of the TVA and B-15, which I thought was, kind of interesting. These what are those people called? I know B-15. I know that's her name, but what are they called? Like the agents or something? Or
why am I drawing a blank? Tom, it's not Tom Variant.
It's something.
It's gonna come.
But those guys, right? It's just like you have the three that's at the top, and then the main one, Dox, is one of the characters from Game of Thrones, who's crazy. Like she was a crazy character in Game of Thrones. So it's like when I seen her, I was like, oh, she's gonna be on some bullshit,
right?
Like, I already seen it coming. But you see Loki still going in between. It's like he's in the present, but it's like the past and it's like what's the past and what's the future? Like that's what was often confusing, right?
Right, and then it got to the point where I think it was like an aha moment for me. Yeah. So when they went to see Ouroboros and
he's like
Loki, explaining it, and then Loki is time jumping to the past, back to the future. It's like he was in the past, talking to Ouroboros, gave him his nickname OB, right? And then they knew it in the future, and then told him about the time device that he had to make. So he made it in the past, and then it just showed up in the future.
But it's like Loki going back to the past changes Ouroboros' like thought process about how this works in the future when he goes back. So when he goes back, they have the device that they need, which I thought was great. But just kind of getting to like the climax of the episode, right? Just where Mobius has to go out into where I forgot what it was. It's like the branches were like collapsing because of what Sylvie did.
Oh yeah, I think they call it the loom or something like that.
He had to pitch the device into the loom. It's like those things are just kind of getting, those are new elements. So I'm just still trying to grasp it.
Trying to understand.
And then Loki had to prune himself, but he saw Sylvie in the past. It kind of that whole thing with him and Sylvie is like weird. Like
that's a whole nother meaning of in love with yourself.
I told you, masturbation.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But so the part where he saw Sylvie, when he was pruning himself, I've been watching people on YouTube about it. People, there's a theory that season 2 is going to be a time loop. So that part that Loki saw Sylvie is probably the end of the season where everything is a loop and everything goes back to where it was at the beginning of the season. Now I don't. It's just a rumor. I don't know, but that's the theory that people have. So I think that'll be interesting. No,
no. I'm not. I'm frustrated. The person I'm most frustrated with this whole season at this point is Sylvie. Like you know what I'm saying. Everything that's happened is her fault.
Oh no, that's real.
Like everything, right? Because I think we pretty much got the crux of season 1, right?
Yeah.
I mean, episode 1. I keep saying season 1.
Oh yeah,
right?
Episode 1.
Because there was a post-credit scene. We finally see Sylvie, the person that caused the timelines to branch.
Yes.
Or because Doc's her whole thing was like, we just got to kill these branches, but B-15's thing was like, no, we should not kill innocent people. They have made lives on those timelines. Why would we do that?
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, I get that. So now you get to the end of episode 1, and you get the post-credit scene with Sylvie going to her branch timeline in Oklahoma in like the 80s or something.
Yep.
She gets a random job at McDonald's. But it's like, I understand Sylvie's kind of like her torment and the things that she went through season 1, because we forget that, you know, she had to hide from the TVA. Yep. So now it's like, you know what? I have literally gotten Kang, the He Who Remains, out the way. I can kind of just have a regular life.
Yep.
And that was the notion.
A sigh of relief.
Yeah.
The first thing she sees once she accomplishes her goal, she goes to a branch timeline in 1980 whatever.
Yeah.
Walks into a McDonald's where she sees nothing but happiness. She sees couples sitting down having a meal. She sees family. Yeah. And she's like, I want to try everything. Yeah. And now she has a job there, and I guess she's just living her little happy life. Yeah. Her little happy life, right? Because she's never had that before. Yeah. So I understand why she wanted to do that.
Yeah. Episode 2, Breaking Brad. Obviously a play on Breaking Bad, the famed TV show, but you have Brad, who was a former time hunter or time
Time Hunter. What's it called, man?
Time Hunter. I know that's. I know that's wrong. I know that's wrong. But he abandoned his post as someone that was supposed to go capture Sylvie. He was part of Dox's squad.
Yep.
And they had Mobius and Loki go on a journey to go get him. Mm-hmm. He is a famous movie star. Like he down there living.
He wanted him.
Yeah. He went and became a him. And this is what I love about this episode, right? And what I kind of love about this, it kind of gives you elements of the Matrix. And not to say the Matrix made this whole thing, but it's just like he said, none of this is real. I'm tired of this. You remember Cypher in the Matrix? He was like, "Hey, fuck all this. I want to go back to the Matrix and live. I'm tired of living on the ship eating beans and shit."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm finna go down here and live."
Yep.
Sometimes you break. Mm-hmm. It's a mental thing. Could you blame him for that?
Absolutely not. Because if I'm a person that's been in the TVA, let's just say my entire life, I have no recollection or memories of the person I was before. I'm a variant of somebody, and then I learn that I had a life before, that you pruned my consciousness or all of my memories, and I know that I probably had a great life.
And that was Brad's whole MO.
Right.
Like when they captured, he was like, "Hey man, forget all that, man.
I'm going back.
I want to go back." But I love the fact that they went down there, they saw him, he was living he's an action star. He's like the best type of actor to be. No, you ain't gotta have no depth to that.
Right.
So he down there chilling. Then when he seen Moby's like, "All right, I'm gonna get you a drink." That boy dipped. He dipped.
Easy too. He's a runner. He's a track star.
And one thing I liked, right? You start to see elements of Loki use his powers again.
Yes.
I feel like we didn't get
I was
that.
so happy about that.
I was like, did we have that season 1?
I think we did, but it wasn't a lot. Well, no. Yeah, toward the latter part of the season, right?
Yeah.
Especially where him and Sylvie did a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
That's when we really saw Loki's powers, because the first half of the season was really just breaking him down and understanding where what everything is that's going on.
Yeah.
So we didn't see a lot of Loki's powers.
But Loki kind of got back to the bag of what we know him to be, which is a little bit of a menace. And I appreciated that. I appreciated seeing the horns pop out, the trickery.
Absolutely.
Like, he really was messing with Brad.
Yep.
Like, he had the fake street gang, and then he cornered them in the, like, I liked all that.
That was fire.
I liked all that. I was like, yeah.
Yep, even to the point where they actually captured Brad, right? Took him back to the TVA and had him hostage, where Brad kind of went in on Loki. I ain't gonna lie.
No, but listen, Mobius told him, he was like, "Hey, he's one of the best.
Yeah,
he knows our tricks.
Yeah,
but he ain't do nothing but tell the truth." Like, I mean, the truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. A lot of that stuff he was kicking, he was telling the truth. That's why Moby slapped the shit out of him. He went like he told no lies. It was just a harsh truth.
It's true.
But I mean, the only thing I think was a little bit far was when he mentioned my dead mama. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you went like, "Hey, my boy."
And I feel like that was especially messed up because
but
we kind of saw Loki in a redemption type of arc in season 1, right?
But still, the things that happened to his mother was a direct consequence of him.
True.
So
you know what?
I mean, that's something that he has to deal with. But to hear it, I know.
Especially so randomly, right? Where he was at a point where he felt like maybe he kind of had some type of redeeming qualities or something like that. But then
he told him, he's like, "No, my boy, you're a villain. Stop trying to act like you're not." Brad was talking to him spicy.
He was talking to him spicy.
He let B-15 live, but he was like, y'all too? I'm on y'all line. I'm on y'all helmet.
Easy too. He wasn't playing. He wasn't playing. To the point where Loki got back in his old bag of tricks. He brought in the little
yeah, Mobius was in on it too. I like how and the thing is, he got Mobius so off his square, because Mobius is always cool.
Yep.
He never sweats. Like, he never shows emotion.
Yep.
But he mentioned, and I think Mobius knows about the life that he had. That's why he took that part so hard.
Really?
I think he does.
Interesting.
I think either that or he just, those thoughts, he had intrusive thoughts. Like, I feel like that too.
Yeah.
But forget all that. I'm a company man. That's
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm Mr. TVA. What you talking? Like,
right. Yeah, that's funny. But I mean that I guess that does make sense, because I wonder if Mobius somehow, after learning about, you know, everything and how everything is fake and all these new timelines and all that, I wonder if he peeked in on like one of his variants and saw what his life could have been, and now it's like a whole different type of thought process for him.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that's just me just, you know, psychoanalyzing. I think that's what he feels like.
Got you. Real quick though, did you catch there was an Eternals Easter egg in episode 2?
No, I missed
it. When Loki and Mobius first got to the sacred timeline, and they were talking and they started walking, there were posters on the wall, like movie posters on the wall. There was a movie poster of
let me guess, the Bollywood stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was the actual guy from the Eternals on there. So remember in Eternals, he was saying he basically played his own like descendants for centuries. Yeah. So it was one of those posters from that movie on the wall there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was dope.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But no, thinking about you know, the torture scene and how, you know, Loki kind of got to that. He had to break bread, no pun intended on that.
Right.
But he finally gives up where Sylvie's location was.
Yes.
They go to the branch timeline in the 80s in Oklahoma. He was like, hey, I'm gonna stay out here. Like, y'all go in there. He's like, every time I pop up, or, you know, every time we go chase her, something bad happens. So now I'm gonna stay out here. He's like, no, you bring yours.
Right.
So Sylvie obviously knows who Loki is. It wasn't like a big, you know, disconnect, but they just kind of had to come to the understanding of what's going on, what we need to get this going, because they needed the aura from somebody, I think, to get that going, getting to save the TVA at this point.
Yeah, they need the temporal aura of the person that created it, which is He Who Remains.
He Remains.
So,
but why? But what was the? I forgot why they were chasing Sylvie though, because Docs was trying to get to Sylvie, so they were trying to save Sylvie, I think.
Let's see. They found her, and then Brad was trying to leave the timeline because eventually they found out that the Time Hunters were in the process of pruning all the different timelines,
and that was an unapproved thing from the TVA.
Right. But why were they trying to get Sylvie?
Now that I kind of lost my thought with that, or at least lost that in translation. Mm-hmm. But Sylvie was a menace. That's probably why. But I mean,
is it? Well, did they just want to? Did Loki just want to save her?
I think so. Like, it's like, but I mean, think about this. All the things that were happening is because Sylvie killed He Who Remains.
Right. But Loki wasn't going to let her just
leave,
perish.
Yeah. And it's like if Docs had got her, you know.
It's going to be over. So it's going to be over.
But just think about what happened later in the episode. Damn, I think they got rid of them timelines. Like, they found out what Docs was actually doing. Mm-hmm. It was like her and a rogue of the time men, or the time minute men. I don't know.
Damn, maybe that's it.
I don't know.
Minute men.
I know that's crazy, but it's like she had a rogue section of those guys, and they were in like some random warehouse, and they pulled up. And they just had to fight. And Docs was like, oh, no, we've been discovered. It was kind of like, lean on me. Like, the chains on the doors. Like, the enemy is here. It was like that.
That's funny.
But they wound up kind of, they really didn't stop it, but they got Docs. I mean, they got her and took it back to the TVA.
Right.
But it was too late, though, right?
Yeah, so some of the timelines did get pruned.
Yeah.
Some of them. Not all of them, but still millions of people did die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they kind of failed successfully. Like, some people still died, but they didn't succeed in pruning all the time.
But it kind of ended in a fucked up way, right? Or at least with trying to figure out, like, you know, like, damn, what do we do here? The TVA is pretty much, it's only one sacred timeline, and that's the only thing left now.
Right. And I think that's how episode 2 ends, right?
Yeah, but I believe so. Yeah. I believe so. But let's just get to 3.
Yeah.
Now 3, is the name coming up?
1893.
1893. Ah, wow. Wow. Oh my God, this is peak. I love this episode, bro.
This was a really good episode.
Like, this is a really great episode.
But this the thing. these Disney Plus Marvel shows have a track record. Episode 3s are notoriously fire.
Oh my God,
notoriously fire.
You know me, I be prisoner of the moment, man. I'm happy to say this is one of the best ones I watched, bro, because this was good. It was like on the second watch. Oh, bro, this is amazing. But we see Victor Timely Kang.
Yes, finally,
right? Pretty much. This was the after credit scene from what film?
It was a recent one.
It was a recent one. It wasn't Ant-Man either. It was
it had to be Guardians then, because that's the last one, right?
Probably. I mean, it would make sense for it to be a Guardians. Ant-Man one too, right?
Or was it Ant-Man?
It could be.
It
was
definitely
a movie this year, though.
It might have been Ant-Man.
It was definitely a movie this year, though.
It might have been Ant-Man.
Because think about it like this: it's variants. They don't know. We just seen that version of Kang lose.
Right.
We seen he remains already dead. He gone. So this is Victor Timely, and we don't understand what's going on in 1893. But we see Ramona Renslayer.
Yes.
Pop back up.
Finally.
We finally see her fine ass.
Look,
okay?
Talk about it.
She bad. We'll get to that too. And Ms. Minutes.
Yeah.
They know that there's a Kang variant out here that can possibly help with the temporal loom with the TVA.
Yep.
But they rather kind of orchestrate that whole thing for themselves. Now, one thing Loki knows, he knows that Ravonna, and He Who Remains had a romantic, at least insinuated that they were together.
Because he heard that clip. And was that episode 1?
Yeah, that was episode 1. Yeah. That was episode 1. So you kind of get a lot of this stuff starting to kind of pay off, which is dope. But they go to 1893 to a branch timeline to meet up with this Kang variant who doesn't know his full potential at all. So they give him a TVA manual to kind of influence his childhood. It changed the whole trajectory of his life.
Absolutely. And first of all, I do want to say, listen, Jonathan Majors is a phenomenal actor.
Yes,
yes. Look, we've seen him play three different versions of,
like we seen the Stadium, but that's something else.
Yeah, that's different.
But actually, acting wise, so we only seen 3.
He Who Remains, the Kang from Quantumania.
That's 2,
and then this one.
Yeah, that's 3.
Each of these variants of Kang
different.
Are so different, and the fact that Jonathan Majors is able to portray each of these separately and like not have any hints of the other one.
Listen, bro,
masterclass.
And Victor Timely is my favorite.
Look,
I like this dude, man. I like him, man. He is such a quaint nerd, but he's a con man. He's what Loki called him, a confidence trickster.
It's crazy.
He was such a con. I was like, it was just
different.
Listen, bro,
different.
Okay, we see the after credit scene come to full life on the screen.
Yes.
We see Victor Timely Kang doing Victor Timely. He's not Kang. He's just Victor Timely doing a presentation of a technology that's not even they don't even know
fathomable.
They don't even know what to do with it.
Right.
And he out here getting bids for it, and one thing about Disney, they gonna throw that racism.
Man,
yo, I was like, listen, y'all.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Oh no, I saw that. I was like, remember I told you when we did the review and I saw that, I was like, hey man, all they gotta do is say string that nigga up. It's up. It's 1893. They don't care about this. It's Chicago, yeah, whatever. But all right.
They had to throw that boy in there.
Man, that boy in there quick. Man. I'm like, oh man. Then gave one boy $1,000, man, for his invention. And then the shit didn't work.
It didn't work, right. Look, but that's smart though, because you don't give them the full shit. Don't give them the shit that actually
not
work.
at all. But one thing that I enjoy, and we'll get to a little bit of other scenes, but one thing I enjoyed was that when he got that TVA manual, it started to unlock something in him, and he started to use a lot of those manuals. I mean, those TVA devices as his trick, as part of his con. Yep. So he's still not. And honestly, I don't know if he ever will be fully formed to the versions of Kang that we saw. But, I mean, he still has a level of intellect that can't be denied,
I think he will. And the reason I say that is because he's going to get access to the technology he needs in order to, create the things he needs to create. Because he created the prune machine in 1893 of just whatever he had there. He created it because Ravonna used it.
Yeah, it was just big as hell.
Yeah, and at the end of episode 3, they walked him into the TVA. Now we haven't seen the aftermath of that, but he's there, so he's going to get access to the technology he needs. So we
gonna see what happens.
He gonna become one of them.
We gonna see what happens though. But like, just getting back to like Victor Timely and his bag, right? Like Ravonna is trying to pitch him something, like she got Miss Menace in the bag. You know, Miss Menace is coaching her. You see Loki and Mobius across the room. They see him. Loki kind of shook. He was like, "Hey, yo, that's that
him. That's him.
that boy." He was like, "Him? No, that's him."
That's racism on Mobius.
He's like, no, that's that boy. Like, no, I mean not boy, but boy. Like he's him. Like, I'm like, no, he ain't. All right, cool. Yeah. So they go through the presentation. Everybody's trying to get around Victor Timely, and then when they get outside, and I just enjoy Jonathan Major's acting in here, man. But when they said, he's like, hey, he was like, Timely, it doesn't work. He's like, oh, excuse me. that boy, I was like, Jonathan Majors is goofy, man. This is goofy. It's like they start playing all that vaudeville ragtime music while he's running. Like, I was like, what's going on? Yeah.
Oh, that brings me to another point too. See, this is how goofy he is. When the man came up to him, they had the electronic pans that was supposed to help him grow. He dunked down. He said, "What you mean? You look taller than me."
And he went for it. He's like, next week. He's like, I'll be by next week. And then Loki was like, he's a confidence trickster. Like Loki know the game. He's like, nah, he play.
Bro, I died when I said that.
and then now here comes Sylvie fucking up stuff. Like Sylvie was such a nuisance, man. This whole episode. Every time something happens, here she comes trying to kill the man. But she was like, it's kind of like on some Terminator stuff, right? We got to go back and kill this nigga before he turn into something that's really gonna be a terrorist.
Right.
Now, for right now, it seems like she's on the wrong side of it. Mm-hmm. It's just because the TVA, like, the thing is, we need him to save the TVA.
Right.
And the TVA is to save these timelines, to save lives.
Yeah. So and what Sylvie, I guess, doesn't seem to grasp is that if they can't save the Loom in the TVA, then every timeline is going away. So like the life that she built and all that is gone.
But she had to hear that the hard way. He was like, do you realize if you kill him, because this is the only one, this is probably the most tame one we can get.
Man, what?
So
real.
It's like, if you kill him, that the life that you think you want, you're not going to have.
It's over with.
So it's like, you got to let go of that for just a second.
She said, don't make me regret it. Don't make me regret it.
But that came after the knife to my boy's throat. He had to plead for his life.
Hey man, she a savage.
I know, man.
She a savage. But
let's talk about this. Like he Victor Timely takes Miss Menace. Like, for one, Miss Menace getting out the bag. She's like, hey, when Sylvie knocked Loki and Timely off the Ferris wheel, right?
She said
they was about the crowd was around and everything. Miss Menace got into
terrorizing her. Oh,
Miss Menace is a fucking fool. She was like, ooh. But I was like, you gotta think about it. If that's 1893, yeah, that's some scary shit.
Right? No, man, what?
But 2023,
they finna hang her ass.
Like,
shit. Salem witch, all this shit. All that for real.
That was so crazy. Ooh, you better run. I was like, what's going on here? And then she drove back down. And then Victor Time was like, hey man, I gotta get to my house. Like, so they took it to the house. He had like a refrigerator chair. That's such a guy thing to have.
Facts. That shit was fire.
Yeah, it was clear. And then you can see Ravonna kind of falling for him again. Like, it was like an innocent type of thing. And you can see the jealousy in Miss Minutte's face, which we'll address. So they found then the same guy. It's like, this is almost watching like Aristocrats or some shit, because that dude with the mustache would not go away. He was like, Timely. He's like, gotta go. So they done ducked out the window. He's like, hey, I got a safe house in Wisconsin. It's across the river. He's across the lake. That lower taxes and all that, right? I was like, this nigga this dude is really a con. Like, he got a safe house in Wisconsin.
Man, what? then took Ravonna on a cruise, all kind of shit. Like, that's crazy.
Nah, that was crazy. Now they sitting there, they connecting, and you start to see what it could possibly be, right? Ravonna and he who remains, or Victor Timely, whatever, she had, she can kind of see that wheel start turning for her, because at that moment Victor knew that she confessed to giving him the book.
Right.
And Miss Minutes was like, it wasn't your idea.
Right.
I'm like, damn, Miss Minutes, what you hating for? Hating tough.
See, that's too advanced artificial intelligence. That's crazy.
It's some making shit. Hey, we talked about that. But no, it's funny because like later on the cruise, I was like, okay, she's asleep, and then all of a sudden they dropped the lifeboat in which they were sitting on.
Yes, and the reason, so Victor Timely has the word partnership was a trigger for him because somebody earlier in the episode said, let's partner, and he went kind of crazy, and then Ravonna said, I'm interested for what this partnership can bring, and then you can see his face kind of turns. It's like, oh, partnership. So that's when she got dropped in the ocean on that boat.
Yeah, it's crazy because if you was gonna do all that, you should have killed her, bro. Because I was like, hey, he done dropped a black woman in the water by herself. Hey, she mad, you know what I mean? Bro. We sit like I was like,
nah, that's facts.
She gonna find
That's
this man.
facts.
Like, listen,
It's facts.
she gonna find you, bro. You should have. Hey. All right.
No, that's real. And she found his ass.
She found his ass. All right. You was better off just killing her, bro. Like that.
But, okay, so in there, right? So now Victor Timely and Miss Minutes, they off doing their thing now. They finally make it to the safe house.
Yeah.
Miss Minutes, she get on her super, super nasty, cringy, hey, look, back when you were you and I, we almost became a thing because you never gave me a body. Like, if you don't remember saying that, if you gave me a body, I could have been your girlfriend.
Let me ask you this: even before we get to the climactic end of episode 3, do you think Miss Minutes becomes the big bad of this season?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can absolutely see that. Okay. Now, how she obtains a body or anything like that, I absolutely have no idea. I hope we don't have like another Vision type of situation, right? Okay. But absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like she's pulling too many strings. Like
what?
And Loki, I thought she was kind of like a bad in season 1. Mm-hmm. Like it's like I kind of read through all that when she got introduced. I was like, I don't watch too much Resident Evil and all this other stuff where the artificial intelligence that runs the building usually is the person that the bad person. Okay, cool. But just getting back to that, I think she's trying to play Kang because she does. I mean, he's not Kang yet. He's not fully formed.
Right.
In his villainy. Right.
Right.
Ravonna is still Ravonna, so she kind of knows how to like kind of get away from Miss Minutes. It's not really that big a deal with her. Mm-hmm. It's like you need Victor Timely to get what you need. Right. So that's how that works.
Now I wanted to ask you. So remember when he went to his house and he said there's something he couldn't leave without, and he went and got it, held the thing up. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that device looks exactly like the time chair that he had in Quantumania?
Wow. No, I knew it looked familiar. I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's the
chair.
The chair that Kang had in Quantumania. That was an exact replica of that.
See? And it's kind of like no matter what, right? Your destiny is your destiny. I think that's what they're kind of alluding to. And that's what Sylvie is hanging on to. She was like, no, you may not be him now because, obviously, let's just get to it, right? When Miss Minutes does the whole freaky I'm coming on to you thing, here comes, I think, Ravonna, right?
Yep.
Ravonna, like, they get Miss Minutes back in the tent pad. Get your ass up out of here. She was getting ready to prune Kang. Here come Loki and Mobius busting through the door. And they trying to talk Ravonna down. As soon as she get ready to prune, here comes Sylvie. I was like, damn, everybody just know. Right. Like, everybody just know where to pull up. All right, that's crazy. Like, so Sylvie pretty much blasts the whole room. And she's this close to killing the Kang variant. And she grants him mercy. Because I think in that moment, she knows, like, yeah, he's not the person that I want to kill, but he's still bad. But you can see, like, he ain't him. Like you can see that's not him.
Word. You and
the acting.
That's
pretty much what it is, the acting.
And so with that, Victor Timely goes through the portal.
Yeah.
Into the TVA.
Yeah.
Where do you see the rest of this season going? Because it's only 3 more episodes, right?
It gets chaotic as hell because let's discuss, like I like that, but let's discuss the actual end of the episode, right? Sylvie doesn't kill Ravonna. She thinks she's doing her a disservice by kicking her to the end of time with He Who Remains Corpse and the building that they were in. I forgot the name of it.
I think it's called like the Citadel or something.
The Citadel, something to that effect. but it's still crumbling around her, right?
Right.
But Miss Minutes is with her, so that gives her a level of, oh, we gonna figure this out.
Yep.
Now I wonder, by the corpse of he who remains still being there, what does that do?
Good question.
Because I want to know, does he come back to life?
So that's a good question, because even in the dialogue between Miss Minutes, what Miss Minutes was talking to Ravonna about, Miss Minutes said that she has like some dirt on Ravonna, like a big secret that she don't even know.
But she was like, "You're not gonna like it," and that was like, "Ooh," and then that's how we ended.
Yep.
So it's like you give this pretty much something, a glimpse into her future, or a glimpse about herself. Like Ravonna may not even know that a version of herself and Kang are supposed to be together.
Yep.
She may not even know that.
And I think that's what she got to tell him.
I think that's what she's going to tell her. And you see pretty much a version of who you're supposed to be with dead there, and then you see yourself kind of falling for this timely guy. All right. So how does this affect the TVA? How do these two women pretty much become the villains of the series moving forward?
Yep.
Does Kang actually become a full villain version of himself? Because that temporal loom, we got to get that popping.
Right.
But he go get in the TVA, and he might, who knows? He might, that wig might straighten up or something. It might drop into a perm. You never know.
That's what I was thinking. He gonna get out there, do his little temporal aura shit, and flip back into fucking He Who Remains and get this shit cracking. Get it cracking. So
much,
I don't know.
And that's the thing, right? And I always say this. I was a prisoner of the moment with Secret Invasion. This is some well acted shit.
No, facts.
This is if this, okay, we'll just talk about this episode. I won't talk about the whole season. I won't do all that. But this episode is some masterclass acting, mainly because of Jonathan Majors. But we're not going to discount
Owen
Wilson. Even Tom Hiddleston, he's doing his thing.
I agree.
Ravonna doing her thing. The person that the lady that plays Sylvie doing her thing.
Shit.
Everybody
Miss Minutes' voice doing her shit. Right. she get her shit done too.
We feel the hurt and the hate in Miss Minutes' voice. Everybody
shit.
cooking.
For real. I agree. And compared to the first 3 episodes of last season, I'm enjoying these way more.
This different.
Way more.
I think because we've gotten they built the situation to where you kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You have a familiarity with the characters. Even though we're getting timely Kang, but we kind of familiar with the face. Ravonna, Miss Minutes, Mobius, Loki,
right,
Sylvie,
right. So, hey man,
I'm B-15.
Right, and for real, I'm excited to see where the season where it goes, because Victor Timely clearly is going to turn into some version of a Kang. So, I don't know how.
So but pretty much, right? These shows are contingent on the type of villain that we get, right? So if we have the better villain in this show, does that make the show better? Because I'm trying to think about the shows, right? I'm thinking about Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, Loki. First Loki, Captain Falcon, Winter Soldier, whatever you call that shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She-Hulk. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the villains. It's kind of unfair.
I mean, listen. And
it's like, you know me, I'm prisoner. I'm gonna just be prisoner of the moment. I ain't even gonna say I'm being. I'm like, this is shaping up to be good. This is shaping up to be real good, and it's shaping up to be one of the best.
I want to agree.
But it's but there's only. If we're talking about, hold on. Let me put parameters on it. We talking about the first 3 episodes.
No,
this is the best one.
Nah, facts. If that's what we doing, then absolutely. If that's what we doing, hell yeah.
Yeah, I got to put a parameter on it. Outlier or some shit.
Facts, because Moon Knight was mad confusing. She-Hulk was different. It's different. Yeah. It was different. The only one that may be of some comparison is Falcon and Winter Soldier.
How about so Wonder Vision?
You know what the first 2 episodes was like.
Yeah, I know.
So there you go.
Never mind.
We talking about the first 3. So
yeah, the first 3, they cooking. Yeah. They cooking. And I'm telling you, I challenge you to go back and watch them. You'll love it more. I think that's why I'm sitting here like this, because I went back and watched them. So it's kind of like all those concepts like Ouroboros and the manual and how connected he probably is to Kang. I can't wait to see that.
I know, right?
It's dope.
Ouroboros going crazy.
Oh yeah,
he going crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Look, that's Loki season 2, episodes 1 through 3.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back with episodes 4 through 6 once the season is over.
Yes, sir.
Hit the comment section. Let us know what you guys think about the series so far. Like where y'all think it's going. Like let us know. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And we'll catch y'all in a few weeks with the rest. And we out. Peace.